Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Anne. I go by Yarny Annie on this little platform that is YouTube, and on this channel we talk about knitting, yarn and bits. I'll just stay vague so I can just slide in everything I need to talk about. Anyway, today we're going to do a little podcast. This is the 5th podcast on this channel. And I have so much to talk about this month. Don't know what's happened, but I've been extremely productive, we'll say, or anyway, it's for you to decide. I'll start with whatever I'm wearing, which is the drift jacket by Rows Knitwear that I finished this month. I want to say like maybe 2 weeks ago. It was a whip last time you saw it. It was kind of my project that I would do against like my other project. So I had 2 projects on my needles, one on 3.5/4.5 and this on 7. So whenever I was tired of doing like small tiny little stitches, I would just switch onto that, and it was just very, very addictive. It's a all over cabled jacket, sorry if I move you, with yeah, all over cable jacket, quite oversized. It's meant to be like that. I'll show you a video of me wearing the beautiful thing. I am loving it. The only thing I would say is I think the sleeves are a bit big. They're very baggy on me, and I understand it's part of the look. I think it's just not my preference because it just becomes some kind of a duster, or if I'm just cleaning the counter, then it's just going to be wet. So this is not the aspect I'm enjoying the most, but overall it's just a very warm mid-season jacket, and I'm very proud of it. And I've wore it a few times. I've blocked it. Sorry, I'm on speed today. I just have so much to go through. I'm just gonna go really fast on this one. But I've already talked about it. This is just me wearing it for you guys for the first time. It's knit with the drop enders, which is an alpaca yarn, which I blocked it, but I've not washed it, and it does smell. So it's not an unpleasant smell, it's a sheepy smell, which is fine. But I should warn you, if you want to wear it right away, just wash it. I'm just ignoring that issue, pretending that I don't smell like an actual sheep. But if you're sensitive to that, just wash it when you finish it. I've heard in the comments some people say it was a bit confusing. I think because I've made the mistake of printing the entire on the work computer as well. Oh, I felt so bad. It's a 42 pages pattern because there's charts for every single size, and so yeah, I have this massive stack of paper. Anyway, if you know me from work, no you don't. No, I've not done that. What do you mean? Anyway, yeah, so after wasting the entirety of the paper, my company's paper, I would say print off the size you need, because the charts are not too complicated, but I had to like highlight where I was just to make sure I didn't lose my spot. So yeah, this is the Rows Knitwear drift jacket, and I've done the size 3, which is like a medium, I believe, like close to medium. So there you go. Very, very happy with it. I've already wore it, and which is really cool is the buttons I found in a charity shop, and they only cost me £1. Another thing I need to actually do and fix is the buttonhole are slightly too big, but I was just thinking of single crocheting all around the buttons to just tighten it ever so slightly, and I think that'll be just fine. I think that'll be alright, so I need to do that at some point. It's probably going to take a month before I do it, but this is what I actually need to finish. And I was a bit lazy around finishes, and I've just done like a normal cast off. I wish I wasn't lazy and I would have done a tubular, because it's just a 1x1. But I kind of finished it during my depression week where I was just not it, and I wanted that kind of, fast finish. So I really did speed knit this because I needed that kind of moral boost of a finished object. It is what it is. But I'm still super happy with it. I'm not going to go back and fix it. It's just going to be the way it is. I'm also thinking, knowing me, knowing my partner, it will probably end in the washing machine at some point, and it will slightly shrink, and maybe it'll be the perfect size then. But yeah, so that's the first thing I want to talk about, a finished object I'm so excited about. Another finished object from this month is this beautiful little beanie that I finished. Oh, I need to refix that little. It's made using the yarn that my sister got me from my last podcast. It's Isage, the fingering, Peruvian Highland, and held double, but one skein was enough, thankfully, because that's a 28-pound mohair, but it's the Quing fiber mohair silk in Fnug, which I've shown last time, and I managed to get this absolutely gorgeous beanie out of it, which I thought, I think it's because it's held doubled, the mohair was more like blue tinted. It's held single, but the green is really like showing through. I'll for you guys. This is what it looks like. And I made a pom-pom, which I made super, super dense, so it looks actually quite profesh, if you ask me. But it's this beautiful cabled beanie with a moss stitch and a twisted rib. And it was a delightful knit. Thoroughly enjoyed doing this little guy. It didn't take me that long as well, and it looks really, really good, really professional. I'm not worried a ton yet, but it will happen. It's getting colder. It's actually a beautiful day today, but it will get colder. And the pattern is the Winter Cable Beanie by Sofie Hågensen. And it was very, very satisfying knit. I think I'm super happy to have bought this pattern, and I will just make a ton of version of that for family and friends, because it's just a pretty pattern. And I think the next one I'll do without the pom-pom, but yeah, I can take it off. I've not actually fastened it really well. I just kind of knotted it inside, so I can take it off if I don't feel like doing the beanie again, doing the pom-pom again. But yeah, fingering and lace held together, but your mohair, you held it double, which makes it a bit more of an expensive beanie, I would say, because that was, yeah, I don't want to think about the price point, but it was a birthday gift, so it's okay. Thank you, my little sister. Another finished object that this one, I just showed you the yarn last month, and I already have a finished object, so I think that's pretty sick. So another one, excuse them because they are dirty, I just fished them out from the washing basket. These vanilla sock that I made, no pattern, just vibes. Using, this is Schopple-Wool Crazy wool, the crazy sock wool, in this beautiful gradient, and this is Coastal Creative, and this is, oh gosh, it's a French dyer, and my friend, that blue color, brought it for me as a gift from one of her trip, and I forgot, I'll just put it down there. But it's a beautiful little color with some light purple speckles every now and then, which is quite cute. And I just made some very simple colorful socks, and I still have a ton of that gradient color. Yeah, just simple little socks that I finished earlier this month. Yeah, there's nothing like crazy about that, but I do enjoy them. I think they look really nice. They were my last summer project because it was slightly sunnier, and I made it in started it in September, finished it early October, I want to say. But yeah, another finished object is this little guy. You put it really nicely. I made this cute little balaclava as a evening project. It only took me like one evening. I just fancy doing it. This is from well, this is made with charity shop yarn, which is just acrylic and mohair. I fully thought there were alpaca in it. There's no alpaca. It's just acrylic and mohair. And I made this. I think I am going to redo it because I think the gauge is a bit off. I think this is just too big. And it's a free pattern on Ravelry. And it's a great pattern. It's Fnug balaclava by Lyana Haaberg. It doesn't have much project on Ravelry, only 17. But listen, there's nothing wrong with this pattern. It's free, which is great. I would just modify a few things if I redo it. Is the decrease? I'll show you. The decrease look a bit sloppy. It's like knit 3 together. So I might do, you know, knit 2, knit a few, slip, knit instead. I think that would look a bit nicer. But this is what it looks like. I think I just need to do it slightly smaller. But I think it's my gauge that is the issue. Because I don't think I was on gauge with that yarn. But, yeah. And that's one of the issues as well. I don't think I should have more hair so close to my head and my mouth. Because it keeps getting everywhere and in my eyes as well. But, I mean, how fun is that? And I am currently working on some mittens. I made one. I'm using the arch gusset pattern by Soho, Purl Soho, which is a free pattern. But I am so off gauge that I am actually knitting it with much smaller needles and the kit size. So it was a challenge and I had to redo it quite a few times, but I think I'm happy with it now. Yeah, it's this little guy. So I made one. I've not started on the next one. I think this is the right hand, yeah. And it looks like this. So much tighter gauge than the balaclava. But I think it just looks so cute. So cute. And it only took me like 3 hours. Which is insane. I just need to find a way, not that it buzzes me as much, but obviously there is, because it's a gradient, so you kind of put the thumb on hold and then work the rest. And so when I did go back after, it was obviously this colour on the thumb. So maybe I should save a few bits just to do that and then go back, but then there will be like a slight line just there, or I need to make sure maybe if I start on one of these parts, like a beginning of a color instead of this massive like gradient from so maybe if I start with like a pink, then I could probably, do you see what I mean? But also it's supposed to be my fun project, not my work project. So I'm not going to overthink it. I just think it looks absolutely adorable. I really like the details that this pattern is doing. Sorry if I'm knocking the mic. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I do like colour massively. So it just brings me joy. And it's one of those dopamine projects that you need to have every now and then. Even though they're not practical. How adorable is that? Is my answer to this question. No, it's not practical. As in, like, you can't wear it as much as you would a white mitten, but it's vibes. It's pure vibes, and I will wear it a lot, I'm sure. Maybe for the next one, because I don't really care if they're not identical, I will cast on slightly less, but maybe increase as I go, because I do think this is just slightly too big, but it's perfect around there. That's just a perfect size. So yeah, this is my fun project. So I've finished one. So technically it is a work in progress, which leads me perfectly to the rest of my works in progress, because this is all that I've achieved this month and finished this month, which pretty impressive if you ask me. One balaclava, 1 out of 2 mitten, a pair of socks, this massive guy, and 1 beanie. This was already like on the way, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. And it's not like I've not made progress on my other projects, which I'm going to show you right now. Moving on to other whips. So I am still chunking away at the Wakame sweater, but I made so much progress since last time I spoke to you. I think last time I was working on a body, and now we have a sleeve, and I'm working on the second one. So let me, it's going to be hard to show because of the short row. It just kind of sits, short row, is it a short row? I think it's just how the construction is done. Anyway, so this is the bad boy. So we have a sleeve, which looks a bit funky now because it's not blocked, but I think it's going to look amazing once blocked. I'll just make sure to do a slightly aggressive block so it doesn't look like a weird balloon sleeve. It's supposed to be like a nice flare sleeve, and this is where I am on the second one. It's actually quite, because of the drop shoulder construction, they are quite short, the sleeves, so it will go pretty fast. So I think in a few days I should be done with this, which it is a very enjoyable knit, but now this is dragging a bit. So, and it's looking so good that I just can't wait to wear it. Sorry. So this is this little bad boy. So just if this is the first time watching this channel, I am test knitting this pattern for Woolsmith Knitwear, she's Swedish, I want to say, designer, and this is a beautiful pattern called the Wakame sweater, and it's all of a cable sweater with no purl at all, meaning that it is so dense. It does take a long time to knit, and oh, my cat is just screaming to get inside. Let me get her. Yeah, she's gonna be loud, so excuse her. So yeah, I was saying it takes a long time to knit, and it takes a good amount of yarn. I am knitting the size large in this beautiful color, which is, yeah, quite close to what I'm actually wearing, and I've been loving this t-shirt. So I just know I'm going to wear this a lot. I think it just suits my hair really well. So this is using Cascade fingering, Highland, Peruvian Highland wool, and in celestial teal, and kid silk mohair in petrol. And it creates this beautiful color with a good amount of dimension. You can kind of see some white part from the kid silk, which is not ideal, but I did wanted to keep that under a certain budget, so that's why I couldn't really splash on anything more luxurious, but it does the job really well. I'm enjoying it so far. I've thoroughly enjoyed knitting this project. The ribbing is a little bit long. It's on 3.5 millimeter. So the body ribbing was taking, I think it took me like 2 days to complete, because it's quite a wide ribbing. I think it's 12 centimeters, but you can go up to 14 if you'd like. I am short, so I've slightly cropped it in the arms and the length. But yeah, it's so beautiful. The test knit is going really well. Everyone's lovely. Some people have already finished it, which is insane. So I'm close to being finished, and I'm really excited. Yeah, I feel like I've been talking about this jumper for a while. So if you need any more information, go back to my other videos. I talk about it a lot. I know that Amelia, the designer, has announced the launch in December. So will be a nice little birthday present for yourself if you fancy doing something that is relatively easy but beautiful. I will show you one more detail before I go, and it's the shoulder detail, which are really, really nice, where you still have that braid going through the shoulder. Oh, how good is that? And then on the sleeve that I've already knitted, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but one of the braid goes from that to the sleeve, which I think is an elite detail in my opinion. But yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful jumper that I can't wait to finish, which hopefully will be in a few days. And that's my main whip that I'm consciously working on the most to make sure I finish this project. So I have a sock project using a beautiful hand-dyed yarn that I bought in away on a little weekend. The pattern name is Wazy Sock by Jenifer Beever, and it's a beautiful lace, just lace sock pattern. I need to block it, and I think the pattern's going to show a lot better than on this for some reason. But if you look at, I don't know if it's my color choice that I've done wrong, but it looks slightly different than the actual pattern, but I'm sure it's just a matter of blocking. But it's a beautiful little pattern, really enjoyable to knit. It's a very simple repeat that took me a bit too long to grasp without having to look at the pattern, but now I've fully got it, and it's super enjoyable. It's a free pattern, which is once again elite. It's very easy to follow, and I'm using this beautiful yarn, which is by the Beehive Yarn Co. And it was a special dye lot for the Peak District, the Peak District yarn trail, I want to say, and I got it at the Pearl and Jane yarn shop in Skipton. No, it wasn't the Peak District because that's in the Yorkshire Dales. Anyway, it was a colorway just dyed for one special occasion, so it's limited edition, and once it was gone, and it was just that one. So yeah, I'm working on those as my lunch break sock knitting, and I'm enjoying it, no problem. You may notice a slight change. Turns out when I was editing this podcast for you guys, I realized that when I dropped my tripod, my phone flew across the room, and the sound got cut off for the remainder of the video. First it was just really, really bad, and then it was just non-existent. So we are filming this part of the podcast a little bit later. I've also slightly adjusted the mic, so hopefully you will have less of that horrible cranking sound every time I would move. It might sound a little bit more echoey. We're just going to try a bunch of things and then figure out what works best. So send me your feedback, ID, or pro tip on the best mic position. I'm also trying to make sure it is actually on, which it looks like it is. Lovely. So we were about to go on to my last project, but it has been 4 days since I filmed and I started a new podcast. It's so funny because my phone is just there, and my cat is just behind my phone, and she's looking at me through the phone. very entertaining, and I'm glad she's entertained. That's what matters in the end. Anyway, so since I last filmed, I started a new project using some of the yarn I just bought. So I'll show you that one, and then I'll show you my last project, and then we'll go back onto acquisition. So I cast it on yesterday, but then I had to be back and started again today. Lovely sock, colourwork sock that I'm actually test knitting for the designer. So they are called the Retro Diner sock, and the sock designer, well, the designer is Wollen Sun. She has a YouTube channel. She's a French designer, but I'm testing the English pattern, and she's a lovely. She sounds lovely. Never met her, but she sounds lovely. She has a YouTube channel, and the vibes are just really nice, really cozy. So if you happen to speak French or want to learn French, I recommend her channel. Anyway, so this is where I am now. So I'm testing this pattern. I think it should be out early December. It's a very nice colourwork pattern, very retro inspired, hence the name. And I don't know if you can tell, I'm going to give you a few seconds to guess. This is my colour palette. What do you think inspired this mustard and ketchup vibe? It's giving mustard and ketchup. Have you guessed? Have you figured it out? It's the logo of the Limestone from Gilmore Girls. I am still full-fledged in the Gilmore series. I'm on season 5 now, if you've been keeping track. And so these are the colour of Luke Steiner, the logo, which is a cup of coffee with his name on it. And I'm just using just a cream to kind of cut the mustard and ketchup kind of vibe. Anyway, so this is the colour palette that I've chose, which is kind of far off from what I usually wear, but it's autumny enough that I am enjoying it. I am loving the red, and I think because I'm obviously not going to finish the balls of yarn with this project, I think that would be a lovely Christmas sock. So just to run through the yarns that I'm using. So these two are Cascade Heritage sock yarn, which are 75 superwash merino and nylon colorways. This is macadamia nuts. That one is called wine. Lovely. So they're 100-gram schemes, and they are extremely soft. I've had another sock project with this same yarn in a different colorway before. It got frogged because I didn't do a really good job with that sock, but I could only but remember how soft that yarn is. This is the softest sock yarn I've ever touched. It's insane. So these are the two colors, and this is West Yorkshire Spinners in Signature, and the colorway is butterscotch, and it's very mustard, like American style mustard color, or English style mustard, to be honest. And so this is where I am on with very, very early on. I changed a few things from the test knit, which I'm allowed to, just because I was a bit tight. So I've went up a needle size, and it's now perfect. And I am very, very excited for this nice, very warm sock. So this is another cast on. I have to finish one sock by the 17th of November. And we are the 6th of November, so I have 11 days to finish that sock. That shouldn't be too much of an issue. That won't be an issue as long as I put in the time, which I 100% will, because I said I would. So there you go. Sorry, I'm a bit on speed today. Once again, I had 2 coffees. Anyway, and the other project I want to mention, Mycon, is something that I haven't worked in about 4 months. And even though I've not worked on it, I'm going to mention it now. And the reason is I need to hold myself accountable and actually work on this project. because it's such a shame that it's getting no love when I want the finished object. So this is more for me that I'm doing that. This is me saying to myself, get your shit together because you want this and this is a great project. I'll show you. This is where the project sits at the minute. That's for something else. And it's the excavation blanket. If you watch YouTube videos or if you've been on knitting Instagram, you've seen that bad boy many times. Everyone's doing it because it's such a nice way to get rid of scrappy yarn. So it's just a very simple, this is why I'll show you as much as I can. It's a beautiful scrappy blanket pattern by Lyana Haaberg. And so this is what it looks like. It's nice, I think. And I'm using scrap yarn from it's mostly acrylic from my acrylic days, but it's going to be, I could just use it as a picnic blanket or it doesn't matter. It's a nice fabric and it will be machine washable, which is very exciting. There is some wool in there, but I don't think it will matter as much if I put it in a wash. I don't know. Maybe I'll be proven wrong, but yeah, so this is a very simple pattern. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and you don't have to weave in any end because you just tie them in a knot, cut it off, and start with the new colour. Incredible project to work on. Very easy. You just need to do increases on each end, which are very easy to do. So if you have a bunch of scrap laying around and you want something to do with and you wouldn't mind knitting for month and month, then yeah, this project is for you. Why have I not worked on this project? I think the reason is it was upstairs. And if you watch every single one of my podcasts, then I did say, yeah, I think it's a great idea for me to put that project upstairs because I could just do a few row every time I go to bed. I do not knit in bed. I just don't find it comfortable for my back. I only knit on my sofa. I have one knitting spot and it's just, I don't know, the way I sit is very comfortable for me. So I do not knit in bed, or very, very rarely. So I've decided to leave my basket downstairs, and hopefully the proximity of that basket to my knitting spot will revive this project. We are truly hoping for that to happen because it's taking a lot of space and I am actively trying to reduce my stash yarn, and now it just feels like it's pretty empty because everything is in this basket, and it's kind of cheating if you ask me. Anyway, so this is my last whip, which I'll put stitch marker, but we know we are at this light purple, and hopefully next time I speak to you in about a month, we would have done some progress on that. I'm not being very optimistic because I need to start on gift knitting, but you never know. It's a lovely project to work on. It's mindless. You could just, so if I feel like watching something very, thrilling and I need my eyes to actually look at the TV, then I can knit on that. Yes. Lovely. And now we're on to acquisitions. So I've already showed you those three yarn I'm using for my retro dino sock test knit. And this is what I bought not long ago, and I capitalized on the free shipping, on that order, to buy some mohair to go along this yarn. Everyone knows it. Kid Silk drop Kid Silk mohair in colour lemonade, 25 gram. I bought two because I'm thinking of probably doing a beanie or something, and probably held it double and then a single strain of this one. But this one is a funky little number because I bought it in a charity shop. And finding such exquisite yarn at a charity shop makes it 10 times better. 100% 10 times better. I don't know, there's something so thrilling about finding something and paying for a fraction of the price, which 100% is the case because it's obviously still caked up. So I got it in Oxford in Skipton, so if you ever go there, it's a great place to buy yarn apparently. So it's the Ripplecraft hand-dyed yarn, 4-ply Boros, in the colour Lemon Drop, and it's 100% wool, and it says that the wool content is merino from non-muscled flock, and it's supposed to be £15, but I paid £6.99. And this very interesting ply. So yeah, this is what it looks like if it focuses. Very interesting colour, slightly green tone, I would say. I am terrible. This is more like banana cream kind of colour. So I'm not sure how it actually is going to look like, if it's going to look any nice, but I'll swatch and see. If not, I could just use that for something completely different, and it will be lovely. It will be used. This is what I want to say. So yeah, this is another acquisition. Another one is obviously you've seen the sock, and this is the yarn I used. When rewatching the video, I realized I said a bunch of crazy nonsense. So this is the correction to what I've said about 10 minutes ago for you. It's by Beehive yarn, and it was for the North Yorkshire yarn trail. It's a colourway dyed specifically for that, and it's called the Moor and Dale Audrey Classic Sock, and it's 75% superwash merino and 25 nylon. And yeah, it's really, really beautiful. Since we last spoke, I actually finished one of the sock. I'm going to put the second sock on hold so I can actually work on the test knit, but it will get done at some point. I actually rarely suffer from the second sock syndrome, so knock on wood, knock on wood. Another little acquisition, but it's actually a gift from my partner who went to Japan, and he brought me some Japanese yarn, which I did manage to Google it and find exactly what this yarn was, but I don't really remember. It's the Rama yarn. It's the baby and kid, and it's wool and acrylic blend, so very baby-like. He doesn't know much about yarn, so I'm actually shocked they did get me something that was not 100% acrylic. But this is what it looks like. I don't know how much he retailed for because that's not the currency I'm used to. But he got me 5 balls, which I'm thinking of doing a cute little set of a beanie, Sofie scarf, and mittens or fingerless glove with that. I think it will be super, super cute. So yeah, I guess that's the last acquisition. So if we want to talk about project for the next few months, I think you're going to start seeing a lot of gift knit. So if you are part of my family, stop listening now. Si vous faites partie de ma famille, allez faire la vaisselle ou je sais pas quoi. Vous écoutez pas à partir de maintenant. Je vous laisse 3 secondes. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think they're gone. So for my little family for Christmas, I absolutely need to make something for my dad. He's being forgotten in all of the handmade stuff that I make. So he's overdue some stuff, and he's always cold. So I was thinking of doing some little gloves. Maybe if I have time, a little beanie. I'm also someone's secret Santa. I won't say the name. Si vous êtes encore en train de regarder la vidéo, je vous jure. Anyway, sorry. I'm sure they won't listen, so I'm not going to say the name of my little person that I have for Secret Santa, but I was thinking of doing some sock for that person. They are knit worthy, 100%, and I'm sure they will take care of the gift because they will understand the value of things. So this, if I have time, my mother-in-law should also receive a Sofie scarf. She's a very classy woman, and I think she will enjoy that, but she doesn't really wear colours. This is just breaking my heart. I do not really knit in neutrals. She's not really my vibe, so I think I'm going to compromise and go for a tweed, because at least I will get some speckles. But I think she values really beautiful fibers, so maybe not, why not try a bit of silk? I think I want it slightly bigger than the regular Sofie scarf, so I'm just gonna do the entire skein of whatever I buy, and just do it, maybe just modify the increases. I'm sure it's not that hard. So yeah, doing some of that. I would have loved to have time to make me a Christmas jumper, but probably not going to be the case. I was thinking of recycling pattern that I've already made, which is the porcelain sweater, which is by Lanique. It's a very infamous sweater, and so I was thinking of using like cream and red, like those two that I just bought. It could have been a good, cute little idea where it's like subtly Christmas without being a reindeer, you know what I mean? So I could just wear it all along, year along, well, throughout the year, you know what I mean? So that was kind of an idea I had, but I think that's being very, very optimistic. And another thing I've been really wanting to do is the Elm sweater by November Knits, which is a very simple sweater, but that has a really nice split in the hem, and that looks really cool and very modern. So that was an idea I had as well. We'll see. I think 1, 2, 3 gift knits minimum, and then after the Wakame sweater, I'll have all of the time in the world. So either I bash them out and allow myself a bit more time to do some other bits for other people, or I just lean into the selfishness that is that I'm allowed to be because it's my craft and I do whatever I want from as my spare time, and just make myself a nice little jumper, another one before 2024 arrives. I'm not ready for that to happen, but we'll move on. I'm also overdue a Sofie scarf for myself because I made 2 for other people and I've not made myself one, and I would suit one really well, I'm sure. So yeah, I think this is all I needed to say. So I think it should be some really exciting month coming up. So please follow me through that little journey. I have an Instagram if you fancy watching me knit and get like a quicker view of my finished object and see the progress I make on not an everyday basis, but almost. It was lovely to join you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you're knitting for Christmas, or if you would like to allow me to be selfish like yourself. It'll be interesting to see what people are actually using their beautiful hobby time as. Anyway, I'll see you very soon. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!